Hello and welcome back to a New Pace podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Andrew, and today for part two of our lovely conversation, I've got Magdelana here from Mag's Relax. And so we spoke last week. If you haven't already listened to the episode, the previous episode that we recorded, have a little listen to that. We're going to be building on some of those things and just exploring some of the ideas that come up as we talk. So, um, Max, hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning. Yes,
Morning.
good
Yes,
morning.
how are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
That's good.
Quite, it's gonna be busy day today, but
Yeah, yeah. So when you've got a busy day, what sort of like is are you talking work? Are you talking sort of like busy can look like lots of things to lots of people.
oh yes. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna do some work today in my Max Relax business, providing treatments. And then obviously housework, which nobody thinks about as work. But
Oh,
yeah,
I do.
yeah, life duties, childcare, cooking, cleaning, and all that jazz. Yes, I think
Yeah,
we're getting better with recognizing that it's actually work as well. But yeah, we
mm,
sometimes think, I've been all day at home. I've done. Yeah, you've done so many things. Sitting at home.
yeah. So it's that shared understanding, maybe, of the jobs at home being demanding and like a task and taking time, and that actually um, can be quite physically tiring as well, and mentally tiring. So in amongst all of that, do you have um particular systems or particular ways that you manage all of that sort of workload?
Um, It's a very good question because I think with the traits of ADHD, in my head there is a system, but when it comes to execution, it's sometimes not so effective.
Mm,
Um, and with the perimenopause or menopause, I have no idea which stage I am in. I'm definitely in some stage.
mm,
Uh, I think, yeah, I just cheer myself for whatever I'm able to achieve through the day. I've the most thing the achievement of past few years for me is like I've stopped beating myself up if I haven't done everything on my to-do list today. So I always try to, you know, pick the two things which I need to do, they need to be done, and then the rest is a bonus.
yeah.
Uh,
That sounds so important. I mean, that really is important, isn't it? Because that idea of, having all of these things to do and feeling stressed or overwhelmed or in putting pressure, it's often us as individuals that put pressure on ourselves to get all of these things done. And it's so easy to then maybe internalize and say, oh, because of this and because of this that's going on for me. You mentioned ADHD traits, you mentioned perimenopause, and they can have such a big influence, can't they? But actually, what that's doing is maybe locating the problem within ourselves of saying, oh, because of this, I've not been able to do all of these millions of things. However, actually, when you by stepping away from that and saying, actually, I can be kind to myself. I can provide myself and prioritize, which is what exactly what you're doing of going, I'm picking two things, these are the most important thing, and um and prioritizing those to be able to do those. And that that takes some skill and it takes some kind of maybe self-awareness to really recognize that maybe what's not worked in the past and how you might sort of move forwards. Does that resonate?
Therefore, the self-awareness is a key because Yeah, if you start to be aware of the chatter and natter in your head,
Mm,
uh, really what you're talking, how you speak to yourself and how you, yeah, see the words, whatever triggers you, then you can make a decision to switch
mm,
and to grasp yourself in a moment and say, yeah, but actually, hello, my inner critic, but
yeah,
actually, maybe just calm down a bit and take the step back.
yeah,
But I think we've talked about it last week, if I remember well, that, yeah, if you're aware of, if you get the skill of sitting with your thoughts uh, comfortably and just see how they come, but then don't put anything into it. Oh, this is a bad thought. This is a good thought. This is a
yeah,
bad feeling. This is a good feeling. Just let them be.
yeah,
Then, firstly, you're gonna see what's going on in your head from the level of observer of your
mm,
own um, way of thinking. Secondly, you can detach yourself a bit from it. And, yeah, we said that last week. Your brain needs to be busy, it needs an input, therefore, it's gonna create, especially when you sit um, quietly, then it's going into the crazy mode uh, of creating more input. So, yeah, creating the thoughts.
mm,
Oh, I've just actually got, yeah, since we've seen each other last week. Yesterday, I passed my exam for my mindfulness and meditation teacher. And that is the thing which works for me, yes.
fantastic! Congratulations.
So, so I don't know how I'm gonna use it yet. But it would be lovely to spread the idea to more people who maybe
Yeah,
think that meditation or being mindful is that mambo jumbo thing
mm,
for those highly spiritual people. No, it's
yeah,
not. It's really, firstly, there is lots of research done and proving it works. Secondly, it's just like m- mental health as well, but maybe brain hygiene to be
mm,
able uh, to see your brain for what it is, yeah, and how it works, and not necessarily,
yeah,
you know, take everything to yourself, whatever comes up to
mm.
your head, yeah, that it's you and it's done, and because you created that thought, it needs to mean something about you.
Sure, sure. You said before, and it fits with this really well, doesn't it? About seeing and considering thoughts to not be good thoughts and not be bad thoughts. And it's same with emotions that we often make a judgment as to what's good and what's bad, but actually all feelings are valid. And it's so easy to say that to other people whilst also making a judgment on ourselves and saying, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be. And we've said before, haven't we? Let's ban the word should. Let's ban the word just. Oh, I'm just doing this. Or I'm just doing this, because then that can maybe minimize the effort and the intention of it. And but then equally getting caught up in the language, I often find there's lots of people in my world that say things like, watch your language and watch what you're saying, and like you're coming across negative, Leslie. And like, well, actually, my intention is to be authentic. And sometimes I might get the words, my words might not come out as kind of positive as I'd like. And actually, that's not the intention. The intention is to be real and genuine. And then, but so I suppose being mindful, as you are describing, sounds like it's maybe less about visualization and getting out there, maybe a bit of this as well, and maybe separating from yourself and more about really connecting with yourself. Is that what you're thinking? Where you,
Yeah, I think you connect, yeah, you connect more with yourself because you see yourself in different light, not the, the natter and chatter in your head,
yeah,
uh, but that you can see over it, yes? You are like, you on that meta level of, okay, that's my faults, but I still can recognize them as my faults and let them go, whatever, don't judge them. And another thing, I think the biggie about the mindfulness practices and meditation, especially, it's people think that the main is to don't have any thoughts, to
oh
train
yeah,
yourself to don't think. No, it's not
yeah,
possible to not think. You train yourself to refocus to your whatever you choose to focus on in your session. So the breathing is the easiest one because
mm,
it's there, it's always with you. You need to breathe to live, yes. Or if you choose to eat mindfully, or if you choose to look at the tree for 5 minutes and just look at the tree, and obviously the thoughts are gonna come.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not possible not to think.
yeah,
You just let them go. Yes, if you catch yourself think, that you run after the thought and you get your focus away from your point of focus in the session, you just come back to it, and that's how it works. Yes, that's how you train yourself to. It's easier than to desynthesize from like anxious thoughts or catastrophic or um,
yeah. To
destructive, whatever. Yeah, whatever
yeah,
bugs you really. Or sometimes even if you do something and you want to be concentrated on the thing you need to finish, but then blah, 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 obviously there is the thoughts of yeah, now I shall clean the kitchen and bake the cake or whatever. It gives you that strength. It's like a muscle, yeah. It gives you that
yeah,
strength to come back to what you decided for you to be important to do today, yes, to have finished to whatever, yeah. So it's despite the meditation and mindfulness, I'm gaining a lot of momentum and more people doing it. I think across the board, it's still that misconception that oh, it's not for me because I can't stop thinking.
right,
Well, you don't have to, yeah.
yeah,
That's not what it's all about.
yeah. So when I first started to do sort of any mindfulness or meditation or anything like that, I found it really hard to sort of close my eyes, and I had some of those um, challenges as well, where I'd be making a judgment on myself about getting distracted, and I'd be hearing things, and I'd feel that impulse. I'd hear music maybe, and I'd feel an impulse to dance or sing, and I'd have to really, really be cautious not to, especially in a group of people that were doing it together. But what it feels like from what you're saying is to really like allow the okay, so we've got a thought, and then we're making a judgment on that thought, and then actually instead of thinking I shouldn't be judging my thoughts, just allow that judgment to happen and allow that thought to happen. So we try not to judge our thoughts, but it's inevitably going to happen, because especially if someone's new to it all sort of thing.
Yeah,
So there's that something about maybe having that kindness towards ourselves to go, I'm noticing that I'm judging myself on getting distracted from doing the mindfulness, and oh, that's another thought that I like, just treat it as another thought rather than
yeah,
reality.
yeah, yeah. Another thing
Yeah,
is because Oh, people also think, oh, you've been doing it for years, so it's easy for you. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
all the time, it's a process, yes. And sometimes you see it, and it's gonna be great, and you really with your breath, and you hardly get distracted. And next day, it might be totally opposite. You just bombarded with tons of, passing thoughts, and
yeah,
um, I think this is another way when we our egos or whatever strikes in a sense, whatever concepts you're accepting for it's your ego, it's yourself, or whoever stands in your own way. That oh, I'm not gonna start because I'm not gonna be perfect. I'm never gonna
uh,
be good at it. Da 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 da. There is so many. Oh, there is the Dalai Lama and those. Tibetan monks, and they totally switch off, and you can fire a bullet next to the ear and they don't even hear it, and I never gonna be reach that level.
yeah.
And
Wow.
with many things in life we like that. Oh, I never can in your fields, art, yes, and yeah,
Yeah,
there's another thing we mentioned last week, or whatever. Yeah, I'm never gonna be so good as so and so, so I'm never gonna
yeah,
start. Yeah, but so
yeah,
and so started somewhere,
yeah,
and maybe so and so, I don't know, has predisposition to do the field he's good at, well,
mm,
but how does it affect you pursuing what you would love to do, what you're interested in? Yeah. uh, for some reason we're thinking that we need to be all the way there before we even start there.
yeah. So if somebody was maybe had a fear of starting because they were worried that they might not be good enough, or they might not e- ever be able to get to a place where they're an expert, what sort of advice would you give to them? How might that you help them to get started?
There is an excellent book for those who like to read or listen.
Yeah.
I can't remember the author. Um, it was Last for Sure. I think I've got it on my shelf, but it's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think,
I think
and
Susan
then
Jeffers.
just follow your own advice. I mean,
Mm,
no, follow your own advice you would give to other people. Apply
yes,
it to yourself, because we're always great in sorting other people's life
it's true,
and not
isn't it?
so good with ourselves. So
Yeah,
follow your own advice. Maybe do like a role play, and I don't know, in the front
yeah.
of the
You could.
mirror, or if it's too intimidating, just yeah, play it out in your head. Sit
Yeah,
yourself as your friends or another person you're wishing well, and then you would like to succeed,
yeah,
and talk to yourself like that
yeah.
and see what comes.
So it's like there's a part of you. It's recognizing maybe there's a part of you that's got that fear, and separating that part of you that thought as being a person almost, and then like putting them in front of you and like having that conversation, and like maybe offering them sort of reassurance that it's okay, or like making it like separate sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. What you said about, this idea of like not wanting to do things until you're going to be really good. I read a book. It's reminded me of a book called what's it called? Is it just me? It's written by Miranda Hart years ago. We're talking about 12 years ago. I read this. She's had other books out, but I love Miranda.
Oh yeah,
I
she's
think
I love her as
she's
well.
she's great, like in comedy, but also like she had a book that she wrote, and she was talking about it's sort of autobiography, and she was talking about how as a child, she'd be more willing to do things and more confident doing things and not feeling any pressure to do it well. So you can enjoy things more. So as a little child, and then somewhere along the line, I don't know what age she was talking about. She was maybe about 9 or 10 or something. And I can't quote this, but she was saying, as people grow up, and then particularly as we get into teenage and particularly as we become adults, we change what hobbies we have based, our hobbies become based on what we're good at. So as a child's getting older, they might stop doing their gymnastics if it's not something that they feel that they can pursue to a level that is high quality, or they might no longer go and do the swimming because they might, you know what I mean? So they then are reluctant to start something in unless we're going to be good at it. And I think some of the narrative that like society plays about, oh, do that because you're good at that, or do that because you can get better at that, but like plays into us as adults of, and I see this a lot with people that haven't made art for a long time and quite like the idea of making art, but they maybe think that they want to get better and better and better at the art. The they could only start if they were going to improve, rather than having that beginner's mindset and always being the beginner and always learning and enjoying it, and not the necessity to constantly improve, which is quite
Yeah,
refreshing, really. But I think maybe there's a lot of pressure to have that sort of growth mindset and always improve and always grow and always learn.
I
What did you think?
think, yeah, I think it's, the education system doesn't support you being creative because then it's that put the mark on what you've done and if it's good, if it's not. Plus, most of it is learn stuff and be able to repeat that information, yeah, or prove that you've remembered it.
Mm,
Which in age of Google AI and stuff, it's and even I was always thinking, I've got a book. If I really need to have something right, I can get the book and read it at the time, yeah.
mm,
Okay. Um, and of course, we prone to remember, different people are, got different gifts and they remember different stuff better. Uh,
yeah,
Yeah, but we sort of like, oh, everyone needs to know the same, and then you need to repeat the information you've learned. And how much stuff from, for example, I don't know, primary school do you remember now? Yeah.
yeah. Not a lot.
Okay.
Mostly the songs.
Yeah, the
Sing.
one which you're interested in probably, and that's it. So we put the marks on, judging people by the I remember we used to have like a arts lesson in primary school, but the Polish system is a little bit different. So you in primary school till I was in primary school till I was 15
Okay, yeah.
15. Um, so we've got like three first years, you start at seven, first 3 years, it's early education, and then you go and you like got the top, the
Yeah,
different subjects and different teacher for every subject, blah, 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 and you got art.
yeah,
And then, and of course, if you judged for what you've done and you're not the someone at the top of the class, you're like, oh, I'm rubbish at it, yes. So you
right.
give yourself this one. Um, and then obviously when you're teenager, that's another thing. It's your peer pressure, yeah, because they interested in this one and this is cool and this is lame and this is whatever, and you want to
Ah,
fit. Then yeah, and then now you see all those people who doing great on Insta, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, call it yes.
yeah,
How many things are out there? And all those people have those great lives according to social media, and then
yeah,
you just
exactly.
like It's quite hard. It used to be hard when there was no social media. Now it's, I think, even harder.
I
So
know.
that
Oh,
puts you down. And then, yeah, takes you long time to get out of, I suppose, this mindset, yeah?
yeah. Oh, goodness me. I don't know how I would have managed growing up with social media around. Thing is so challenging. There's so many different things. But it makes me think about kind of um us as people growing up and going like through all of these developmental stages in life and then being adults and what sort of things were important then that are still important now. So if you were to look back at your like little you, it could be teenager, it could be more little. Are there certain things that you would see have been constant throughout your life, or that was important then, or that was maybe part of your character, and that it's clear that that's still a really important thing for you? For
Jeez,
me,
this is a very interesting question.
like
You made
I
me
suppose
think.
for me it's the art. So
Yeah.
that's been the constant. So there's been so many changes. I've had lots of career changes, but the art's already been there. But it might be on. It could be like that. There might not be a thing, but there might be things that changed.
I think my the main theme going through life. It's helping. It's always been yeah, in a field of
Yeah,
helping people. Yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
Those
That
things that sort of important to you to be able to sort of help people.
I think
Yeah,
it seems like it's the theme song of my life.
yeah. And that's a good way of phrasing it, actually, like a theme song of your life that
Yeah.
you'd be there, sort of help people. And while you're helping people, what's your sort of go-to self-care strategies then? What sort of things do you do for your own self-care? So remember you saying that you weren't really so kind of um didn't enjoy sort of massage on you so much, but what sort of things do you
Oh, yeah.
find helpful?
Well, I didn't enjoy the strong get
Yeah,
get into you, but I enjoy the gentle stuff, that's for sure.
yeah,
Um, oh yeah, the meditation, mindfulness, we mentioned last week. Well, I think
is it something that you would be sort of conscious of, like self-care, or is it something that sort of just because I suppose in the sort of pace model, like that pause being that first stage, and then like taking action, there can be um people can get stuck of, am I pausing on purpose, or am I pausing because I'm just so exhausted and I'm overwhelmed and I'm maybe in freeze, like I've been like agitated in fight or flight and now kind of blocked and
yeah.
in freeze. So it can be hard to then say, okay, I'm going to allow myself just to do nothing, but then I might take an action on doing something. Does it feel like that, or like when
No,
you have set
yeah,
things?
it does. But another thing with the pause, I think, if the I think in the pause, um, if you let your heart speak to you, in a sense, and then act on
Ooh,
what came up for you,
yeah,
then that's great, okay?
yeah,
Nobody says the life, following your nature, your heart, whatever, it's always great and easy, but it therefore makes you more happy
yeah,
than, I don't know.
yeah,
For me, was working for other people.
mm,
And I think we also tend to forget that once we do something scary and then it's us suddenly it's not so scary anymore, and
Yeah.
it's turns better than before. And then we come to doing scary thing again, and we forget that we actually did the scary thing and it was okay.
Yeah.
Um, Tend to.
So
But
that
I
in
think
itself is
if you
self-care.
pause and then take actions, and then it's actually your life improves, so you're going through the direction you want it to be.
Mm.
That's maybe when you know the pause was effective. If
Okay.
you're stuck in a pause because you're afraid of taking next step, yeah,
Yeah.
or you're fearful or you're anxious, then you're probably stopping yourself from growing. But for me, it was like that. I was working in NHS. I've worked in nights, so my health went down the hill. My managers were in, for me, it wasn't, yeah, they weren't a good fit. Yeah, maybe they have some other people, but I just know the way how the service I worked for functioned. You need to take care of people who take care of other people, yes?
Yeah.
In my opinion, you can't run your employees to the ground who's supposed to be working for NHS, who's supposed to take care of other people, because for me, it's just no. So,
Sure.
no, and that was the big step when I've decided to become massage therapist because I needed to way out of this madness.
Yeah. So it's taking a
But
big leap.
yeah, but you know what? And yeah, and
Yeah.
was
That's
it scary? Yes, because
yeah.
it's scary to go from employment when you've got your, pay every month, holidays, da 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 da, to doing odd jobs here and there, and then see how it works out. And of course. But
Yeah.
would I go back? Actually, I've met a friend recently from NHS, and she's like, "Would you ever come back to us?" No, no, just no. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm employable anymore.
Yeah, I hear that phrase a lot, and I suppose part of that is that you've taken that leap and it's something that's scary, but it's also makes me think like you're saying about really looking within and just that inner knowing of knowing that what's right for you, but you're having to jump across and take a bit of a risk and it's action that's hard work that's maybe like challenging. And there's that quote, isn't there, that says something like the pain of change is less than the pain of staying the same.
Yeah,
And actually there's lots of things that are like I'm guilty of this in lots of ways of you know being being avoidant of doing things and not necessarily wanting to do the hard things. And then when I do, or I don't want to be disciplined because I like my freedom. Whereas actually, when I've been disciplined and when I've got kind of all of the, like you say, all those household jobs in order, then it frees up my time to do more things and to like that. For me, a lot of self care is about like being really on it and disciplined. Whereas a lot of people talk about self care as being, oh, it's the bubble baths and it's the pampering and going to get my nails done and things like that. But it's
and it's
maybe
there for
about doing
place to,
hard
and
things.
it's there for place for everything. The thing is, there is no one
No,
uh, prescription fits everyone, yes?
yeah,
And what I actually wanted to also
both.
say, it's good to self-develop, okay? So find yourself a coach, find yourself a modality which works for you. I don't know, I found my natural success with William Whitecloud, but there is lots of other known names and unknown names, which you Joe Dispenza, yeah,
Yeah,
the guy. There is another one, I can't remember his name now. Yeah, and there is, there is lots of self-development books. Just see what works for you. Yes, not the same stuff can work for everyone, but at least gain knowledge how you can look at yourself, how you construct it, whatever differently. Yes.
Yeah,
Uh, because obviously it's hard to go with the same mindset to change your life, or if you and um, but it's work in progress. I'm work in progress. Yeah, my never,
yeah,
it's never finished
yeah.
progress. But there is lots of help out there, really. Yeah,
It's so
uh,
true, isn't it? And actually, it's like when you said about, like I was saying, that balance between taking those leaps and having that courage to do those things, but also then sort of looking after yourself. It made, yeah, yeah, I was kind of thinking it's and both, and
yeah,
it's all of those things, and very much about your the way that you see the world and what's important to you will maybe be the sort of guiding compass point as to what's really important. So if there's certain values that are highlighted as significantly more important than others, then you'll do what you can, because part of self-care is to do what you can to be heading in that direction. Whereas for a different person, those things might not be so important. Yeah,
yeah. If is yeah, all depends. Some people are spiritual, so they will go for
yeah,
yeah stuff like Joe Dispenza and all this. Manifestation, whatever, the other person will think that's mambo jumbo. They're gonna listen to motivational speakers like Mel Robbins. She's great
yeah,
because she backs up everything with the, science and research. But there is probably, those are people well known, but there is probably other people less known and other programs and your program. And yeah, it's lots to choose from. And I also think when you put that question and all that intention into the world, something's
yeah,
gonna come across your path,
yeah,
which gonna help you just pick
yeah.
it up and
Completely, because and I
see.
suppose like it's only really when we have these conversations with people that you start to kind of see things as being realizing the depth of people's understanding and their interests. So like when we've been talking, actually on the surface, it could be, well, actually what you do is more about the massage, and it's that like one area. But then as we've talked, there's been much more deeper themes and more sort of personal like ideas and like thoughtfulness, which is really great. So actually, like what it sounds like is you're not making an assumption about what people would be, why people might go like for a head massage, for instance, or why people might sort of do those things. But I'm just curious. So say if I was going to see you, if I was maybe um wanting to have a massage or something like that, how would I like what's how would I sort of know what the best service to have would be? We've talked about
The
different things.
best, yeah, the best what calls you and what's
Yeah,
when I tend to at least someone is books themselves in and they decided they know, but I'm always happy to answer any questions
yeah,
because my offer is my baby ASMR, so it's very gentle touch and hair brushing and skin tracing, so it's all gentle. And then I also do the Swedish, which is relaxing um, massage. The pressure can be adjusted, yes. And then Indian head, which got its Indian head, actually called Indian head, but it's top of your back, neck, shoulders, scalp, and then face. So
yeah.
it's not only head. And yeah, I've got lots of people asking, oh, I've got that pain there, and can we do something about it? And sometimes we can,
Yeah,
sometimes we might not be able to. Then I send people to my husband because he's a fixer.
yeah.
Um, I'm the relaxer, he's a fixer.
What a
Yeah,
team.
and I'm always happy to talk and guide and give, to my best knowledge what we're doing. Yeah, you know, it's like with the ASMR. Some people probably it's revolting for them to even think that someone can brush their hair and yeah, it's
Yeah,
good for them. And some people are like, oh yeah, yeah, we all different.
yeah,
Um, so that's the main three treatments I offer now.
yeah,
Um, and then I see. Oh yeah, I need to finish my facial course. I'm doing facial course for fast few months. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, and then I
Always
see
learning.
always learning
Yeah,
something. Yeah. And then I see where it takes me. Yeah, the next thing I would like to explore and see
yeah,
what
and
interests me because it's um yeah, the one thing is what people asking when they contact you, what people asking of you. But another thing is I would never go into the sport massage because it's not
yeah,
something I like to do, yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So
yeah,
there's something really important about helping people to understand just what it is that you do. And when I've seen your social media, I've seen all the videos, and like take a look at Mag's social media because like you see like the skin tracing and like the sort of going along the back, and actually being able to see those things can help somebody to understand how it might be for them rather
yeah,
than a description. And as you say, one person's one person's comfort zone is somebody else's like fear zone, and they might find it really challenging. And like you made kind of like that sort of facial expression, I was like it was uncomfortable. And
yeah,
it's like food preferences, isn't it? One person doesn't like
exactly.
this food, somebody else doesn't like it. So I suppose it's like looking at a menu of offers and be able to be clear about what it is, and being open to try something new. Because I suppose from my first impression, like when before I was speaking to you, is that actually the really soft lines I'd find that really uncomfortable. And the really like I as a child I had really short hair, and I didn't really like having my hair brushed or having my mum put my hair up. I didn't really like it, so my hair just got put off. But then now it's the sort of thing that when I go to get my hair washed and cut, I like it when someone's washing my hair. I like that. But yeah, we often have these assumptions based on our past experiences. But rather than kind of be willing to take that next step to try something out and really see what it's like for you. Um,
Yeah. My motto is, it's your treatment, not mine, okay? I'm
yeah,
here to provide a service within the remits what I do. But if, for example, I don't know, the the pressure is not enough or too much, you're not comfy in online on the bed, you would like to sit, or I don't know, the tool I music for ASMR, the brush, you don't like it. You know, I know we sometimes go for those things and then we suffer in silence, sort of because we're scared to say, oh no, I don't like that. And I'm the
yeah,
same, I get it. Um, but I would love to create that space when people can, sorry, I don't really know, can we change? I don't fancy it, or I'm not
yeah,
comfy, can we just adjust whatever? Yeah, because at the end of the day, you come and you want to relax, yeah? If something is comfy or hurting or whatever, you're not gonna relax. At least you relax through pain, but that's different story, okay? But generally, yes, we do. Um, okay,
Yeah, yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? That everyone's different. And
yeah.
like I suppose one final question before we finish is just maybe something about you, like outside of this space. Like, what really brings you joy when you're not doing the work for other people and you're not Max Relax?
I tell you what, in my dreams would bring me the joy.
Yeah, let's go for the
Eat
dreams.
as much as I want.
What's that?
Not eat as much as I want, not putting
Oh,
weight on, and be all, flexy and fit. That's not gonna happen without the work. So I am a dancer, actually. I dance.
oh,
For
amazing.
past, that's how I met my husband. So it's gonna be, oh my goodness, now. Uh, Probably about 16, 15, 16 years. So
Yeah,
that's what I do and what rock my boat.
yeah,
Yeah, and I like to cook. I do
yeah.
like. I cook too well, so therefore then I eat, and it's just a vicious circle, okay?
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. It's but I
Yeah,
suppose it's getting that like while you're talking about this, it I can see the joy in your face. I can see that there's a humor in it, and that actually there's something about kind of just doing those things that you really love, and those enjoyable moments, whilst also kind of going, oh well, actually I might cook lots, I might put on weight, but actually talking about it in this way, it sounds like that bit is what brings you joy. That
yeah.
even though there's this consequence, I actually really have this
I
passion
know the
for.
consequences are, yeah, dire. Anyway, yeah, but dancing, therefore, and dancing is good. It's good for your brain, it's good for your body, and it's good for getting over yourself.
Oh yeah, getting out of your head.
Yes, yes, because to be honest, it's a very mindful exercise dancing. I dance in pairs, so it's not me, it's a partner dancing.
Yeah,
But you therefore can't think about anything else but be in the moment, otherwise you just don't. It
yeah,
just goes to beats. And also, yeah, getting over yourself, how you look and how you might look. Yeah, and no, so whatever. And just
yeah.
enjoy yourself.
Oh, it sounds amazing, and I
Yeah.
think it's like we have these sort of professional stances, how we sort of show up for certain roles, and then there's those and what like all of those different things, and then there's that kind of thing of when you allow yourself just to be and just to dance and just to listen to that music and have a boogie and those like micro moments that you can catch on to
Yeah.
that can maybe bring back some of
So
that
yeah.
joy. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mags. I feel like we've taken a bit more of a deeper dive into all of this, and it's certainly making me want to go away and put some music on and have a little dance around my
Have a
room
boogie, yes.
and just be really, I think actually being really mindful of my movement and mindful of everything around me. So thank you so much. And
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for having me.
you are very welcome. And thank you for listening to today's episode. And if you haven't listened to the first one, have a listen. They, they, they complement each other. You don't have to have listened to the first one first. They will work each way around. But and go and give Mags a follow. So her Instagram and Facebook links are in the show notes. And give me a follow as well if you like what you see and you want to see more of the podcast. And that's all for now. And bye for now.